And we're back. So, quick catch up. You'll have come a long way since you first met. We have traveled along the wooded areas and the coasts of Thylea. You have completed your 3 great labors, anticipating setting sail so you can confront the Titans and determine the fate of Thylea, whether it be damned to Armageddon or saved by some righteous glory. Along the way, you've made many friends. You've made several enemies. And your fame and patronage has spread far and wide. There are very few places, as far as you can tell in all of Thylea, that would not know of your heroic deeds and your persons. Last week... Sorry, there's a kid yelling in the background. Last week, we picked up, right after King Acastus of Mytros called for your arrest and accused you of treason, amongst other things, at the end of the Great Games up on Mount Vulcan. When we pick back up, you were escorted from Mount Vulcan, brought down into Mytros, and locked up in the dungeon cells beneath the royal castle here in Mytros. The dungeon cells, you were brought to the court in Mytros. A large number of Mytrosian citizens are acting as the jury, from the lowest of the low in the social class to the highest of the high. You were given a chance to speak, and you were questioned by High Captain Tarkon, the leader of the new Mytrosian Dragon Lords. King Acastus is in attendance. Almost all of your closest friends and allies are also in attendance, and the first phase of the trial, proceeded through. Once you were all questioned, having Zone of Truth cast upon you, Tarkon declared a break so that they could properly prepare the witnesses that you asked for to speak on your behalf here at this trial. That's where we ended last session. So, tonight, we're going to pick up right at that moment. We're going to fast forward a little bit of a montage here, okay? The break has been declared for 1 hour. That way they can properly bring the witnesses in, segregate them as is proper, following the formalities of the court. You have all been escorted, again, shackled, from that main center marble stage and the podium in the middle of the courthouse, around the side, through the back, and there is essentially a door, almost like a cellar door, except it's heavy bronze on the ground. They open that up, and you walk down some stairs into the darkness with torches lining the hallways. On either side, you see some rooms cut out of the marble and stonework hallway. You are brought with each other into one common room. The door is locked, your shackles are left on. You can hear the muffled sounds of some of the centurions with the scarlet red cape. Those are the personal attaché of King Acastus, as they stand post outside for the hour break that you are on. So, inside this relatively small room, it's maybe 10 by 10. The 5 of you, Euron, Cyanus, Lycus, Ina, and Renatus, are seated on plain wooden benches. There are 2 candles on either side of the room, giving you a little bit of light. The air is stagnant and heavy. It's kind of cold, kind of damp. Heavy bronze doors muffling sound from outside. You have a chance to talk about anything you would like to, or the hour is up and you proceed back to complete the trial. So, this is how you find yourselves. The scene is yours.
It helps Euron's actually doing that in real life.
That's fine.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel okay about everything so far.
Oh, we're fucked.
I have never been so tense in my entire life. Oh my god,
I don't even know how to gauge where we stand. I've never seen anything like this, so.
Well, I will say that I think everyone, for the most part, did well on the stand. Some people did better than others. But I think we got a case in our favor. But I ultimately don't think it matters. If he's going to try and kill us, he's going to try and kill us. He's going to find us guilty regardless.
I think where we will face a problem, which I think we all did well on the stand. That much I have some experience with, and perhaps even when we were not, maybe we were convincing. The problem where things may start to fall apart is with the witnesses. Because of about half the ones we called, none of them were actually present for what we did.
Were any of them present?
I mean, Hercus was around.
None of them were, actually. Technically Hercus. He was the only one who would have been present the whole time, but half that time he was... Is it bad form if I say that the squirrel man was nuts?
Time and place, you're on. Time and place.
Such as your address to Lutheria? In the middle of the court?
I mean, it worked in my favor, didn't it?
I thought it was pretty impactful.
But yes, that will be a note against us that we've really mostly called character witnesses rather than people who can actually speak to our guilt.
True, but I think they're going to have a very hard time to try and intimidate our witnesses, because I'm sure the prosecutor's going to try and be a dick under orders from King Augustus. So if he literally has to deal with gods, I think he's going to square the fuck off. But I'm sure he's an asshole, whoever he is.
It's going to be the same person who interviewed us.
Oh, well, he was actually rather nice and charming and handsome.
Yes, I suppose. He was my commanding officer, I can't really say much.
Oh, I didn't realize you knew each other.
He was the highest possible command, but I never really served with him personally, and besides, he wouldn't remember me. Even if I had...
Do generals really remember individual soldiers when they have thousands of peons? Yeah.
True.
A good one does.
But there is also the fact that anyone who knew me does not remember me. One thing I will say, just in case, is I can't remember if there is a recess after the witnesses speak before they announce a sentence. But I believe there is, so that they can pass their verdict.
I would hope, even in a city as backwards as this, that they would take a moment to absorb the speeches of all the witnesses before making a decision.
I don't want... I do hope that this goes well, as nervous as I am about this.
Well, if it doesn't go well, and we die, you have nothing to worry about.
Also, worst case scenario, I get sent down there. Who knows? I mean, Eleutheria's pulled that shit before. Who's to say she won't do it again? I mean, I'm not banking on that, but it's a possibility. But yeah. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Take a moment to pray before they call us back in.
Okay.
And it's just a Mytros and just a, please, I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. I am needed. Please, I don't want to die.
So, as Euron bows her head and prays to the patron goddess of Mytros of all places, you each kind of recede into your thoughts and absorb the darkness around you in anticipation for the next stage. The hour has passed. You hear a heavy metal scraping sound as the bar from the outside of the cell door is removed and the door swings open, showing you the dim hallway, and the centurions that were watching guard are standing there beckoning you forward. You follow on out through the hallway, back up the stairs into the large central chamber of the court of Mytros. Some stragglers are still filing in, but even with some still straggling in behind, again, this place is packed. Easily several hundred people in here. Elbows, there's just not enough room, it's ridiculous. The air is heavy. However, glancing around, you see the neutral faces here in the center of Tarkon presiding over this court, this trial. You see King Acastus there, again, showing no hint of emotion or favor. He might as well be a statue for all intents and purposes, as well as he's holding himself. You see your friends seated behind the throne where Acastus sits, but the difference is in the crowd. It doesn't seem to matter whether it's the most paltry farmer or one of the most wealthy individuals that you've seen walking around the noble district. By and large, you see supportive nods. You see smirks of goodwill. It's not universal, but there's more than enough there to show you that so far you seem to have made a positive impact on the crowd. Keeping decorum up, it's nothing outlandish, but you feel the emotion behind their looks. As the remnants of the crowd, the jury in this case, continue to file in, the doors finally close, and Tarkon rises up from his seat on the central stage and addresses the court. Citizens of Mytros, we now come to the second and final stage of this trial. The accused have brought forth witnesses to speak on their behalf in an attempt to clear their name of the charges laid against them. With permission of the king, I concede my spot on the floor to allow them to call forth these witnesses as they deem fit. As many of you are aware, I, representing the crown and the city, will have a chance to question them afterward, before that witness is dismissed in finality. Following this phase of the trial, the accused will be allowed to give their closing arguments, to address you personally once again after everything you have said and heard, they have said and you have heard, as will I on behalf of the city. So, with that, he glances over to each of you. The accused, you are all being judged individually. This is your time with your witnesses. Just let me know when you're done questioning them. Nods, kind of understanding. The stage is yours. He steps down, steps away, goes to his chair, sits down and looks at you kind of placidly, waiting to see what you do would say.
I'll go up first. So I'll make my way up to where I'm supposed to stand. And just so I'm clear for the layout, because I missed it, are all the witnesses standing there, or do I have to say, I called for insert witness here?
Okay. So you have the central stage and the podium. That doesn't really get used much for this. The witnesses are seated off of the stage, but in front of the majority of the crowd, on the opposite side of the stage from King Acastus. They're all seated there. They have summoned and have been able to locate and bring forth Pythor, god of battle, Hera, goddess of music, Valis, goddess of wisdom, queen of Mytros, Bolon, Hercus, the oracle, and Fiorent, the leader of the Vineyard Satyrs outside of the city. They're all sitting there quietly. Those that are your friends are looking at you, hopefully. But yes, at this point, whoever wants to take the lead on questioning. Man, VC is messing up tonight.
Corey froze again.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do I need... Yeah, get it.
VC is giving us issues. You guys got me back
Do
yet?
I need to change over?
Change over, what do you mean?
Is it my turn?
So.
Not yet. Okay, well, you can. You can.
Okay.
As Lycus, you can. You can as
Yeah.
Lycus. Okay, so either individually, or if you guys have one person do the questioning of the witnesses, whatever, I don't care. Fine, either way. So you would call forth who you want. You would ask them the questions. They would respond, etc. And then Tarkon would get a chance. Now, viewers, so y'all are aware, we talked about this, and to make it mo better for everybody, Josh is going to be doing double duty if he wants to question as Lycus, but either way he's going to be questioning as Tarkon so that I can voice the NPC. So he's going to take that hat and he's going to try and poke holes in his own defense. That's going to be really fun. So, and the same thing will, once Tarkon is done questioning them, we'll move on to the next witness. Okay?
So, Euron's going up.
Okay.
She's going to question her own witness.
Sure.
And then Tarkon's questioning that witness as well.
After she is done, yes.
After she is done.
Yep.
Am I Tarkon for that?
Yes, you're going to be Tarkon until
That's
all the
what I want
witnesses
to
are
make
done.
100%.
Yep.
Okay, Lycus is going last.
Okay.
God. Oh God. For reference, I am like fucking shaking.
You'll be alright.
I guess I will look to the witnesses first. I'll sort of cast my eyes along everyone, looking for a brief sign of reassurance, and then I will first call forward the druid Hercus.
The Hercus kind of bounces up out of his seat like he had one too many Red Bulls. Jesus. Just remember.
Please conduct yourselves accordingly in this court of law.
Just imagine that Josh's black jacket is bronze armor with a red cape and little red pieces of fabric sticking out the side, gleaming polished, and his white coif, for lack of a better term, is the slicked back dark brown to blackish hair that is heavily oiled and fragranced of Tarkon. But I do like the ancient court reference as well. That is beautiful. Thank you.
Whose team are you on?
Silence, peasant. Your turn will come soon enough.
So Hercus hops up like he's a jackrabbit and he calms himself. You see he is dressed much, much nicer than he was when you last saw him. Prior to this, the dirty brown leather and green fabric has been exchanged out for nice fitted, kind of quilted green tunic and brown pants and boots. His long, scraggly gray and white hair and beard have been slicked back, and you see several wooden rings cast throughout that separate him into these thick, almost multiple ponytails coming down his back, and two more down his beard that has been kind of knotted up and really, really presentable. His face is clean and everything. However, his behavior has not changed. He is very antic as he quickly walks up the stage and comes to stand before you. He looks around and... Hercus the Druid, reporting. Here. Hi, Euron.
Hello, Hercus. So, Hercus, for the benefit of the court, how long have you been traveling with us?
It's hard for me to say. Time passes kind of weird lately. How long have I been traveling with you?
You have been traveling with us for over almost a month now.
Yeah. Yes, that sounds good. That sounds about right. Days were a little bit longer when I was in squirrel form. I was stuck in squirrel form. I was cursed by Lutheria. Just in case anybody's wondering. So that's why it's kind of weird. So, yeah. A month.
Euron looks like she's like straight face, but her eyes are like, oh, fuck. So, that means that you, God. Give Arya a moment, please. So this means that you have been traveling with us for all of the events that were described previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Right inside of your hair. It's been quite cozy. Yes. Saw everything.
You saw everything.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. So, oh God. Oh, why did I say I'd go first? So starting with the incident with Trellis and Septia.
Mm-hmm.
Would you oh God. I made a mistake! Would you mind explaining?
Hmm?
Not explaining. Oh, God. You still wiggling your nose is not helping, Joey!
Me, it's Hercus.
I know.
Here, a little tip for everybody.
Help me, please.
It's okay. A little tip for everybody. Okay. This is not, as I've told you before, this is not the courtroom drama you see on modern TV, right? It's not the super official questioning. It's much more casual. It's much more freewheeling. Okay, there's no barrister and the judge kind of a thing. Okay, so you just be you. Ask him what you want to ask him, and the dice will fall.
I've just been worried because of what I said in the last one. I think about about a quarter of what I said was not exactly helpful. So I'm just worrying. But go back from what I said about the Trellis and Septia incident. Ignore that, please. So you have seen what we have done. Would you say, for the benefit of the court, that we are nice people? That we are helpful people?
Yeah, I'd say so. I would say so. Nice and helpful people. Very much. Always asking for helping nice people.
And have we, in the actions that you've seen, not wished ill will, but oh God, now my words are failing me, but then following that, what was your reaction when you first heard the charges that were given to us? Named it for us.
Murder? Definitely could do that. More than capable of killing things. You've killed so many things. But it wasn't... I don't remember murder, and it didn't smell bad when you killed things. It was, it was killing things. People kill things all the time. It's part of nature. You're supposed to kill things. Otherwise, things kill you. And then, arson? I don't remember anybody ever... I do remember smelling smoke. Anyway, treason. I don't even know, how do you commit treason? How's one person... How does one person try to bring down a state? It doesn't make sense. It's just one person. Or 5 people. Or one person.
Thank you. I might leave it at there just because Ari is genuinely thrown and has no idea what to ask.
If you guys hit a wall as players, welcome to cede the floor to somebody else, or however you want to handle that. Okay.
Tag me in, coach.
Yeah, don't feel spotlighted and be uncomfortable playing a game. Okay.
I'm gonna be uncomfortable this entire session, but just because of the nature of it. But
I understand.
Yeah, it's one of those. I want to ask him about what happened, like the event, but I also don't know how to ask about it in a way that fits with all the hopscotch we were doing.
Understandable. And Euron would be in the exact same position as Ari.
Yeah. So I will look back to my group and sort of do a help me sort of gesture.
I got nothing.
Fuck! Son of a bitch! Okay. Alright. Then I look back to Hercus. And... Right. Then... So, I guess no further questions from me. Now we'll look towards Tarkon. This is his specialty! I yield the floor to the person who knows how to do the shit!
Okay. Tarkon.
Even if he's against it.
Tarkon nods a bit and rises up and takes your place opposite Hercus.
Thank you, Lady Euron, for that wonderful back and forth. Please take your seat. Hercus, could you please explain to the court your occupation?
I don't really have one. I don't know what you mean.
Okay. You expressed some, how do I say, some time was spent in squirrel form. Could you please elaborate upon that during your time with the heroes and travels?
Sure. I many years ago, so my wife says, lovely lady. Many years ago, many years ago, I was investigating some old ruins, some Geigen ruins in the old wood.
Please start at the beginning of only your travels with the heroes.
Oh, but I was getting okay. Anyway, okay. So, I remember they came to the ruins I was going to tell you about before I got interrupted, and then one of them grabbed me. That was Euron with the snake hair, very warm snakes, and she smelled good. So I just kind of followed her around, and they're really nice people. And then we went to a bunch of different places. Some were scary, some were dark, some were cold, really cold. Squirrel Fort is not very good for cold, and then we came here. And we were walking around the city, and there's a bunch of stuff in between, but it's really boring. We came here to the city, and we were doing a lot of walking around, and then.
Please allow me to interrupt you. I apologize. I'm sure it's a wonderful story. Did these nice people that took you from your home? Did they feed you? Did they protect you?
I was always safe. I never got hit.
Did they feed you?
They didn't need to. I feed myself. Do you feed yourself?
Did they protect you?
Well, they have
or did
to.
You have to protect yourself?
Oh no, they were getting hit all the time by a bunch of really mean things and people and scary things and people, and I never got hit. So yeah, they were protecting me. Obviously, otherwise I would have got hit.
Did they treat you as an equal?
I don't know.
That's acceptable. Would you say you were part of this group or more of an accessory, being that you were a squirrel at the time?
Well, I mean, there were squirrels all around, and they went through the old wood a lot. And there were other animals all around every time we went somewhere. And they didn't take any of them with them, and they never shooed me away. So yeah, they...
So you were more of a pet to Lady Euron.
You'd have to ask Lady Euron.
Did you feel like a pet?
No. I never had a pet. I've never been a pet before, but no, I don't think.
So it almost sounds as you were not part of the group, not quite an accessory. You were taken by the group. It almost sounds as though you were an afterthought for the group.
I'm sorry.
But I digress. My apologies.
I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Would you say that you base danger based on smell?
Yeah, that sounds good.
For instance, you said Ari smells good.
Smells nice.
So you trusted her because she smelled good.
Yeah.
You also said that killing smelled good.
It didn't smell bad. There's a difference.
It did not smell bad. But you also mentioned smelling smoke?
Yeah.
Could you please elaborate upon that?
I smelled smoke a lot. Every time there was a campfire around, every time they were holding a torch, every time we were walking inside buildings with candles.
More particularly, smelling smoke here in Mytros at the big black building known as the Church of Lutheria. What about the smoke you smelled there?
Oh, there was definitely smoke there. They had candles in all the hallways every time we visited.
How did that smoke smell?
Like a fire?
Do you know of the possibility? Were you there when the fire was started by the heroes?
I don't remember. Kind of hard to see things from inside of her hood with the snakes.
Do you remember seeing the inside of the church?
Yes, it was dreary.
Do you remember the children within the church?
I remember children. Yeah, I remember children.
Do you remember exiting the church with the children and the heroes?
I remember hearing the children. I was in the hood. I was a squirrel, and it was warm. It was really warm.
But you said you saw everything earlier, but now you're saying you had trouble seeing from within the hood. So did you see everything, or did you not?
Okay. This is confusing. Let me help. Do this.
No, sir, I do not believe I shall.
Well, if you do this, you can still see everything. It's just really blurry. So I saw everything, but some things I couldn't quite make out.
So, as long as you could see everything blurry, you counted as you saw everything. And you are basing your judgment and answers off of blurry vision. No further questions from the courts. Thank you very much, sir. You may please stand down.
Okay. By the way, you smell good too. He turns and walks off. He kind of hops off the stage and tumbles a little bit, goes back to his seat, sits down. He's like bouncing like a little kid who just got a cookie. Can't hear you.
Next witness for the heroes, please. You have the floor.
I step up and I call to the courtroom. I call Percy the Oracle to the stand.
You hear some murmurs that are replacing little fits of muffled laughter that were occurring sporadically throughout Hercules' time on the stage. As the Oracle stands up, a golden circle around her head. She hasn't really changed her appearance, but it's because she always looks regal and beautiful as she slowly glides up the stairs and stands before you. She nods to you. She nods to King Acastus. And she looks back towards you. Her hands go down by her waist, fingers interlocked, relaxed, graceful. Looks at you in the eyes.
Hi, Versi. How you doing, hon?
Hello, Cyanus. How have you been?
I mean, we could be in better circumstances, but, you know, all things considered, alright.
The highest pressure makes the sharpest diamonds.
So, first question that I have, everyone knows that you see prophecies. How often would you say these prophecies end up being incorrect?
I see many things every night. Visions of things that could happen. Visions of things that have happened. Out of all my prophecies, very few actually come to fruition, but they are many times of the same thing, you see? Just with slight differences. And those slight differences change the outcome.
Okay. And if you would, for everyone here, what was the exact main prophecy for our group here?
In sum, death and destruction of all Thylea, the sky rains black, fire consumes the earth, the ground thunders, the waters boil. And the only time that we ever had a chance, a possible chance, was if each of you were gathered forth to confront the Titans and determine our fate. By our, I mean all of Thylea.
Okay. I glance over my shoulder. I'm like, any of you got any questions?
I'll take the stage. Renatus. Versi.
Renatus, my curiosity.
Yes. When did I join the group?
A matter of weeks ago. Well, a week ago, I suppose.
And
Maybe
it
two.
was after the time of the fire of the church?
I believe so. I heard about that in second hand. But if the time is that I heard is correct, then yes. Afterward.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to confirm that for everyone here.
I confirm
Judge.
it.
That's really all the questions I have. Anyone else want to go?
I've got one. I'll go up and bow a little to Versi. So during the time we've been in Mytros, significant part of that we have been staying with you, correct?
That is correct.
You'd say we've spent some time together while in your place of residence. Have we, in the time we've spent with you, expressed any ill will towards Thylea, Mytros specifically, sorry, and have any cause to cause harm to this city?
You have expressed nothing of the kind.
That was all I had to ask. Thank you.
I'll ask her a few questions. So, according to you, we were called because we were Thylea's last chance to stand against the Titans. For Thylia to be saved. Has Thylia been saved?
No, that has not been determined yet.
So if we were to be found guilty and fed to this dragon, then all of Thylia is doomed.
That is certainly possible, yes.
Have you had any visions of what could happen should we not be allowed to complete our tasks?
The problem with visions of prophecy is that everything is in broad strokes. I know it is your fate to confront the Titans and determine the fate of Thylia and avert its total destruction. The path that you take to get there is unclear and is up to the actions of you and those around you to determine the pattern of the paint that makes the final picture, if you will. Now, logic says that if you are to die, then you cannot confront the Titans, and so yes, I would think that would lead to the doom of Thylia. But I can't honestly say that I've had visions or confirmation of any such thing.
Have you ever had visions of any one or any group other than the heroes of the prophecy saving Thylia?
Yes. But that was centuries ago, when there was another group of 5 who delivered Thylia from the wrath of Titans.
I see. So no one that could step up to the plate today.
I have seen no others, no.
I'm gonna look like straight at a Castus and be like, that's all I have.
She bows.
Oh, I want to know what a Castus's face looks like at that.
Give me an insight check.
Oh god, okay. I did not have my character sheet up.
Okay, we can get to it after.
Nope, that was a 17!
Not his face. But he is not resting his hands comfortably on the arms of his throne. They are taut. And although you are a dozen feet away or so, you can see in his eyes a subdued, cold fury.
When Ina sits down, I'll lean over towards her and just go, "You got him."
Well,
My Lady Versi, the court is blessed with your presence. We thank you.
The honor is mine, High Captain.
If you would, please, I have a few questions I would like to ask you. You say that you see visions that are events or things that could happen and have already happened, and at times it shifts and changes. This party originally began as 4, and we celebrated the 4 heroes of the prophecy. And that prophecy has changed to now include a 5th. So we must, to my understanding, take it that your prophecies are subject to change. So when you say your prophecy states, or your vision shows, that the heroes are called to face the Titans, it could be that by facing the Titans, they could save Thylea or spell Thylea's doom. Correct?
Such is their burden.
Could it be that facing the Titans will bring doom to the people of Thylea?
It is possible.
So it is possible that facing the Titans could save Thylea and equally doom Thylea.
These are the powers at play. Yes.
Of course. Lady, have you ever had a vision that you set into motion whose outcome did not meet the end result that you foresaw?
Yes.
You are blessed with powers beyond our imagination, lady. For that, we will never truly know the burden you bear. But let the courts know, and that which Lady Versi has stated. The prophecies are based on happenstance, and the outcomes are subject to change. And the heroes are foreseen to face the Titans, but we know not as the people whether it is to spell our doom or to actually save us. That is subject to change. Lady Versi, I have no further questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, Captain. She turns, silently walks off the stage, settles down in like a feather on the pillow top chair. So what's next?
I'm trying not to have a meltdown in my chair. You tell me.
Well, you have many witnesses available to you. Up to you. This is your turn at the
All right.
trial.
Well, that one was kind of intense. Hey, Folon, can you come to the stand?
He gets up off his hindquarters, stands up tall, all 8 feet of him, and clunk, 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 clunk. You hear the clop of his hooves as he walks across the marble floor.
Hold up. No. You did you just say 8 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, why does he have 8 legs?
Literally having
8 feet tall.
Arachnocentar!
The tall might not have come through the microphone. 8 feet tall. All 8 feet of him is what. Anyway,
Okay. I was about to say, are we dealing with the Drider?
the 8-foot tall centaur towers
Shit.
over you on the stage by the time he rises up to his place of importance. Cyanus looking up at him looking down with that. You can tell he is attempting to be serious, and he's also attempting to have a look of positivity, but there is concern in his eyes. Hold on of the Scorpion tribe. Here for the questioning.
Hey, Folon, so you remember that thing that happened to you about, let's say it was like, about 2 weeks ago, where you had some of that wine and all right, specifically because I know all of us here have been drinking quite a lot over the past week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Do you specifically remember that wine that made you super sick?
Yeah. Had me curled up tighter than a pig's tail.
Do you happen to know where that wine came from?
Yeah, Lycus handed it to me after he got it from that dark temple of Queen of Dreams.
So, it stands to reason that'd be wine that was coming out of the Church of Lutheria.
Oh yeah,
Well,
it came
the
from
cult
the temple.
church.
It came from
Yeah.
the temple. Yeah, it came. There were some barrels against the wall, and they were all making a big to do about it being some special wine or something. But
Okay.
it was rock gut.
And as far as I can remember, they had given that wine to us as a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I look back at Lycus and I'm like, you remember this shit, right? Yeah. So the wine that they were
Hell
giving
yeah,
out,
I remember that shit. That was some good shit until it almost fucking killed him.
Thank you, Lycus. So it stands to reason that that wine was the wine that they were giving out to people in the public.
Stands to reason. Yes, sir.
Okay. Everyone here, I just wanted to be on the record that I believe that the church was giving out that wine to sort of mildly poison the populace. I'm not saying that they were outright going to try and kill the populace.
And this is where Tarkon would politely remind you that the witness is supposed to be answering questions. You had a chance to make your opening arguments.
Yeah. My apologies. I get a little incensed whenever Lutheria comes up.
Happen. Please don't let it happen again.
Of course. All right. So you joined us a little while ago and pretty much immediately took a massive liking to Euron over there, yeah?
Mm-hmm. She's like my sister. I rolled up with Ina too, though. Not like that. No. We literally rolled. Well, no. You see, it was.
It was a long story, folks.
Oh shit.
Follow on. You're good. Trust me, you're good.
Not for the beating he's gonna receive for that.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
But yeah, you don't think whenever they were saying that, like, we did some pretty, in my opinion, heinous things. You don't think we'd be capable of that, do you?
I've never seen any one of you raise a hand against someone that did not deserve it. Mostly. Only because sometimes you raise a hand against each other and none of y'all deserve it. So.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
That was about to be my next question.
Put my hoof in my mouth all day.
At this point, I look over him like, do any of you guys have any questions at all? All right. Tarkon, go on.
Thank you very much, sir. Folon of the Scorpion tribe, welcome. I hope you had a pleasant stay. Would you say that you have enjoyed the merriment of Mytros?
Yeah, I could say that.
And when you first arrived, were the Church of Lutheria's acolytes passing food and drink to the populace?
I reckon I remember they were.
And do you remember partaking of any of that food or drink?
No, I don't think so, sir. I think the only wine I got from them was from the actual Temple of Lutheria, from that barrel that Science just talked about.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, let's cliff note that 1 second, and let's go back. When you first entered and you saw the populace being fed and drinking the wine from the acolytes of the Church of Lutheria, did you see anyone else keel over tighter than a pig's tail?
No, but see, on that one day, that was only the one glass that we drank from them. We had gone a time before, or they had gone a time before. And Euron was telling me they had drank some wine, but she said that they didn't get sick. But then when I was there, and Lycus got the cup, and then he gave it to me, I drank it because I wanted to try it, and then I got all sorts of rumble belly on that.
So, Lycus gave you the wine.
Yeah, he got it from the temple. I was there with him. He didn't walk in with a cup.
You were in the temple when he received the cup before your very eyes?
See, it's kind of hard to say because it's a while ago. I know that he didn't walk in there with a cup. It was a fancy cup.
But he walked in without a cup and walked out with a cup and presented the cup to you.
Well, I asked him for it.
You asked him for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Was he drinking the cup at all?
No, he hadn't. So we had just left there, and I was might thirsty, and he hadn't started drinking it. So he's drinking the wine all the time. I figure he's always drunk, so he wouldn't need it anyway.
Do you also tend to drink rather heavily with your heroes, friends?
Well, heavily for someone like you. I need to drink more. For me, it's just drinking normal.
Yeah, of course. So, Lycus, who is known to drink heavily, left the Church of Lutheria with a cup of wine in his hand, unconsumed, and happily passed it along to you. For you to partake.
Real nice guy. Always offering
nice.
wine.
I'm sure. And shortly after you partake of the wine, you curled up, as you said, tighter than a pig's tail.
Yep, that's right.
Now, it is to my understanding that Lycus is familiar with poisons as a hobby. For instance, we found poisoners' kits and materials in his inventory once he was apprehended. Do you think it's possible he may have poisoned the cup of wine from the Church of Lutheria before handing it to you?
Well, I mean, not to be disrespectful, sir, but it sounds like you're just kind of saying whatever you want me to say, because of course it's possible. I mean, who couldn't, right? So, I mean, you can might as well just tell people it's possible, right? Oh, yeah, it's possible. Of course it's possible.
Do you know if Lycus poisoned that cup of wine?
I mean, I don't know it, but I have no reason to believe it.
Do you know if the Church of Lutheria poisoned that wine?
I don't know for sure, but again, I do have reason to believe that.
Of course. What is your relationship with the heroes?
I like to consider them some of my closest friends. You even go venture so far as to say they're like my only family now.
Is there any one hero that you are particularly closer to than the rest?
Well, my bonded rider is Euron, so we have a supernatural kinship because of the curse on my tribe. If that's what you mean.
Supernatural kinship. Okay. So it's within your best interest that Euron, that Euron survives through this supernatural bond, of course.
See what you're doing here, and it's smart. but I'm on to you. So the answer is yes, but. And the but's important.
Thank you very much. You have answered the question. Let the record state that yes, it is within the best interest of the witness Folon that the heroes, and more particularly Euron, the former centurion of Mytros, stays alive. Thank you very much, sir. You are dismissed.
Dismiss your ass. And he walks off the stage.
Got a big butt.
Oh god, like Euron catches his eye and just kind of like, it's okay, it's okay.
He just kind of turns, his chin drops a bit, and he shakes his head left to right as he goes back to his position next to the rest of the witnesses.
Joe, if you don't let me hug him before I potentially die, I'm gonna lose it.
Very good. I go next.
Lycus springs into action.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody today? Hope you're wonderful. I would like to call Kira, the goddess of music, please.
Kira stands up, she takes her hands and pinches the front of her gown, flaps them around really unceremoniously, and like pats them. You see a little bit of dust come off, and she walks up. And as she's walking up the stage, she's looking left to right over her shoulder, kind of glaring at the audience, getting a reaction out of him as she walks in front of you and kind of hops a little bit. He curtsies. Lycus the Magnificent, I am here.
Kira, my love, it's always wonderful. So, you have, would you say that you, I'm sorry, let me think about this. Kira, you helped assemble the heroes of the prophecy, correct?
Pretty big word, but yeah, I sure did.
And you did this with the understanding that the Oracle had the vision of us saving all of Thylia by confronting the Titans. Do you know if anything in that vision had us actually killing the Titans?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know don't know at all. The Oracle asked me to find those she sought and bring them to the inn, and then get you all to meet each other, and then bring you to her, and here we are.
And you've been traveling with us ever since the assembly, correct?
Not entirely. There's been times where you've gone off to do amazing, heroic things for the good of all Thylia all by yourselves, like big boys and big girls, and you didn't need a goddess hanging around to slow you down. She's projecting her voice to kind of influence the crowd.
So, in your belief, we were of good moral upstanding and had the best interests of Thylia at heart, in mind?
I need to think about that. Yes, of course!
Do you happen to recall, what was the name of that city we were in before Mytros?
Astoria, Lycus?
Astoria. Do you happen to remember a tragic event that happened in Astoria?
Let me see, her face drops a little bit. I do.
Could you please let everybody know what happened?
She turns a little away from you to address the crowd. We traveled to Astoria to begin the Great Labors, as was foretold by Versi as part of the prophecy. The three Great Labors. The first lied in seizing the horn of Balmetria and drinking from it. In order to experience the visions, they would need to finish their Great Labors. When we were in Astoria, I introduced them to my brother, King Pythor, god of battle, and he informed them that there was a siege to be brought upon Astoria unless King Pythor were to sacrifice his only daughter, Enora. If this was not done in a very short amount of time, then an army of Centaur and Cyclops were going to lay waste to the city of Astoria. King Pythor, being the man he is, hoped that these heroes could help. And so they tried. They gave a valiant effort. Lycus himself was turned into a statue by the stare of a basilisk. Unfortunately, despite their best heroic efforts, Enora did not survive. She was drowned in a flood many could say was brought upon by Sidon, Lord of Storms. He had been withholding rain for weeks from Astoria in an attempt to break their will, much like he withheld dryness here. He flooded because of a hurricane. There, he was attempting to starve them out and destroy their crops and livestock with the drought. And then, when Enora a torrential downpour drowned her, and a large piece of Astoria died that day. And some of you may say that the heroes were at fault for not being able to save her, but the heroes didn't call down a flood. The heroes didn't chain Enora to a rock. That was the order of Sidon.
Kira, how do we know that Sidon is to blame for her death? He doesn't speak to us. Did he send any other mouthpiece to speak for him?
Commander Gaius and the Order of Sidon interpret signs, as you all know, in the heavens: thunder, lightning, droughts, rainfall. And they communicate with Sidon in this manner, or so they say. Sidon declared that Enora would be sacrificed. Sidon, it is believed, commands the heavens, the rains, the ocean. So if anyone is to blame for this, there can be no other.
A great tragedy and a great loss, of course, for Enora. And yet, his reign of terror against the people of Thylea was not stopped there. As you said, there were hurricanes that buffeted Mytros. And for that line of questioning, I will move on to Queen Valis. But before I do so, Kira, you have known us since the beginning. You have assembled each one of us after individual time together. Would you say that we are, in your eyes, as the goddess of music, of the five gods, that we are morally upright, good, standing individuals who ultimately are, no, you know what? I don't wish to draw conclusions. Please describe us generally, if you could, specifically if you wish. One more than the others is perfectly acceptable for fine, outstanding moral and physical characteristics. Please, in your own words.
You see her smile droops a bit. She seems to recall things. She seems to think, to ponder, for a moment. And the smile returns to her lips. And once again, she turns to address the crowd, the bard that she is at heart. How do you describe the indescribable? How do you explain what the color blue looks like to someone who has never seen it? There are few that still live in these lands that knew the Dragon Lords that built this city, created this kingdom, saved the settlers from the wrath of the Titans. And each and every one of us sees in these 5 what we saw in those 5. But there's one very important difference. Humility. Even Lycus. He's boastful, possibly the most arrogant of all. But even in that arrogance, he would risk himself to save a centaur child. He would spare a Gigan baby. Not every Dragon Lord that came before could say that. That is their character. That is who they are. And she turns back to you.
I have no further questions, my love. Anyone else?
As you turn to look over your shoulder, she leans forward. She whispers something in your ear. Kisses you on the cheek.
Anybody else have any questions for Lady Kira? Can I switch to talk to Queen Valis, or should I interrogate Kira?
So, we can handle it whatever way is easy for you as a player, but know that, narratively speaking, Tarkon questions Kira, and then you question Valis, and then Tarkon questions Valis.
Okay. No problem. That's too easy, son. We got that.
And now I have to go pop Josh's window out again and hide it, because now I can't look at him. I love you, Josh, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. He gets 1 point of inspiration for all of these.
Lycus learned the cantrip quick change.
Disguise self?
You took the actor feat.
Lady Kira, once again, I thank you for your time and for gracing the court with your presence. It is to the court's understanding that you acted on behalf of Lady Versi to assemble the heroes of her prophecy. Is that correct?
That's true.
And in her prophecy, it is so that they would face off against the Titans and as she said, save the people of Elia.
As I understand it, yes.
Was there any word about saving the 5 gods in that prophecy?
She pauses. She glances over her shoulder a bit, looking in your direction, each of you. Turns back to Tarkon. No, there isn't.
My lady, what would you say is the greatest threat to the 5 gods?
Fear.
Fear.
More specifically, fear amongst the good people of this land. Fear that drives them to worship the Titans. Because then no matter what happens to us, we will have failed.
So, worship of the Titans. Would you say it is within the best interests of Thylea and its people that the Titans are destroyed?
No. I don't.
Yes, ma'am. Would you say it is within the best interests of the five gods that the Titans are destroyed?
No. I don't.
And yet their fear is the greatest threat to you?
Yes. Our lives, our time, has already been determined. Long ago. The best thing that could happen with the Titans, the Lord of Storms, Sidon, the Queen of Dreams, Lutheria, is for them to treat the people that worship them as they should. That is what's best for the people of Thylia, and that is what's best for us. But 1,000 years of history have taught us they are incapable of this.
You bring up some very good points. What do you feel is the purpose of the Heroes of the Prophecy? Is it merely to meet the ends of the vision? Which is that they bring peace to Thylia?
I believe their purpose is to show that the people who live in Thylia determine their own fate, not outsiders from a foreign land that rise on silver and bronze scaled dragons, not the titans up above, not the gods that walk amongst them. These people, mortal people, have the power to control fate. And I believe that they will do it well. They will do it for the benefit of all. That is their purpose.
It is to my understanding that you lost a harp.
Yeah, kinda.
And I believe this harp was in the possession of a castor, a satyr.
As far as I know, yes.
And did you charge the Heroes of the Prophecy with returning your harp?
No.
Did they mention that they had salvaged, for lack of better terms, the remnants of your harp?
Yes.
Did they tell you how they retrieved the harp?
Gotta be honest, don't really remember. The harp's not high on my priority list right now of things to think about.
What about the rest of their doings here in Mytros? Are you well aware of it?
I have heard the stories. I haven't been in Mytros until just before the Great Games.
Oh, so you were not here for any of that. Okay, very well. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Hi, Captain. She turns. Kind of dances down the stairs a little bit, looks at each of you and smiles really, really big.
Okay.
I'd like to call up Queen Valis, and that'll be my last one. I don't know if y'all want to ask anything.
I defer to you at this point.
My man.
Queen Valis rises up. Queen Valis takes the stage. Decked out as always, all sorts of jewelry. This is a new gown, purple with gold trimming. Her hair is done in several long, well manicured braids. little bit of makeup on her face.
Okay.
She rises up, curtsies before the king and the people, bows to you. Like this.
My lady, Queen Valis. Queen Valis, you are the goddess of wisdom, part of the 5 gods. Does that make you a person who knows all things as they currently are?
No, that is a common misconception. I am the goddess of wisdom, not the goddess of knowledge.
Oh, shit. I was hoping you'd say the other one. Okay. When we were in, your husband sent silver dragons to pick us up and bring us here, correct?
I believe it was bronze dragons, but close.
Oh, you're right. Silver was the asshole from Cult of Lutheria.
Well, King of
Why
Castus
did you-
also has a silver dragon, but the dragon lords of Mytros ride bronze dragons.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot that detail. Okay, so, why did they bring us here?
The king summoned you.
Do you know why the king summoned us?
He summoned you because the hurricane was blocking off the port. It was ravaging the city, and there was disagreement amongst his advisors and himself and me about what course of action to take. And so he believed that the heroes of the prophecy would be the best individuals to ask for their advice on how to proceed.
Would you consider that a wise action? Bringing us here?
Yes, I do. Wise and clever.
And did we, the heroes of the Oracle, stop the storms from ravaging and flooding and destroying?
If not for the heroes of the prophecy, the hurricane may not still be here, but it would be at much greater cost to the people of Mytros.
Would you... Your husband brought us here in his wisdom to stop the hurricane, and we did, and it saved Mytros, and you agreed that it was a very wise decision. And to your knowledge, have we done anything or any action to undermine the authority of Mytros, or to start any kind of uprising, or any interpolitical espionage, subterfuge, anything of the sort?
To my knowledge, every action that you and your friends has taken in Mytros has been for the betterment of Mytros.
Excellent. Would you consider your king wise for his decision to bring us here?
I believe it was a wise decision, yes.
Do you believe it is also wise for him to flip his position and to now accuse us of attempting to destroy the city, of attempting to overrule his authority or overthrow his authority, when our actions clearly show that this was never our intent?
I believe it is unwise to accuse the heroes of the prophecy of crimes only made salient by the word of a drunk satyr from the vineyards.
I look up and I'm like, first off,
My eyes are on Acastus! My eyes are on Acastus!
I knew it all along.
Oh my
Josh,
god.
I know we're not done yet, but Josh, you beautiful son of a bitch!
I'm trying, y'all. It's funny being both defender and prosecutor. This shit's hard.
You're doing great.
I'm just trying not to take off the
You're doing great, honey. Keep it up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um,
God, no, Euron's just like staring at Agastus the whole time this is happening.
You're getting more of the same vibe, Euron. More and more.
Lady Valis, Queen Valis, are you familiar with the Ultras?
I am.
Are you familiar with the rumors of how important it is in historical value, its legends,
Of course.
and who charged the heroes of the prophecy with returning the Ultras?
I believe you got the information about the Eltros from King Acastus.
And do you believe returning the Ultras to Mytros was in the best interest of Mytros?
I do. If not just for its cultural value and historical value, it brings great pride to the city of Mytros to be harboring such a vessel. It is also critical, because without the Ultros, you would not be able to sail and fulfill the prophecy that threatens us all.
When your husband charged us with returning the Ultras, we were given a warning. Do you believe that it would be wise to turn the power of the Ultras over to your husband for the betterment of Mytros?
I believe King Acastus would not take the Ultros in possession, even if he were given the chance, because he believes that the new Dragon Lords are the best chance at maintaining peace with the Titans, whether it would be aggressive or not.
Fair statement. Hey, y'all got anything?
Yes, I have something I would like to ask the Queen. Queen, pleasure's mine.
Renatus, it certainly is.
The only question I have is, it seems to me that the king has asked only of great labors of the heroes with very, very little chance of success. Is that true? With stopping a hurricane and finding the mythical Ultros?
I think those would be considered great labors by anyone, yes.
Would it be to where... damn. I lost it.
That's alright, Renatus.
Can't remember. Happens. Thank you, Queen. I'll go sit down now.
Very well.
Euron's just shake her head no, and And maybe if a cast just looks away at all, Euron's gonna wink at Her Majesty at some point while she's on there. That's all.
Easy enough. You do so. He returns the wink.
Are there any further questions by the heroes of the prophecy?
The floor is yours, Targon.
Thank you. My queen,
Hi, Captain.
you bless us with your presence, and I do apologize for these formalities, and I wish to have them over quickly, so that we may not burden you any further.
It is my honor to speak on behalf of those that I'm called to speak on behalf of.
My queens, would you say your husband has ruled with the betterment of the people of Mytros in the forefront of his actions and his mind?
I believe that my king, as monarch, is an integral part of bringing together the people of Mytros.
Would you say that he has done a good or bad job in maintaining the peace between those who worship the five gods and those who worship the Titans?
I believe that my king's reputation and record is not on question in this trial.
My queen, when did the hurricane of Mytros begin?
Several weeks ago,
Was that before or after the assembly of the heroes of the prophecy?
I would have to talk to my sister to see exactly what day they came together, but it was close in time.
Around the same time. Would you say that it's possible the hurricane was created after? Let me think 1 second, I apologize.
Take your time, Targon. No pressure.
Why do you believe the hurricane surrounded Mytros and flooded our lands?
Because Sidon treats his worshippers like you treat dogs.
I love my dog, my queen. It is my family.
Then I suppose you treat your dogs better.
Our dogs are not on trial.
You asked the question.
Do you believe the hurricanes would have attacked, for lack of a better word, Mytros had the assembly of the heroes not occurred?
I do.
You believe he still would have sent the hurricanes?
I do. Would you like to know why?
No, thank you.
Oh, but
I'm
I insist. Just because I don't want you to have to keep asking questions.
Yes, my queen.
The drought of Astoria caused by Sidon happened before the assembly of the heroes. Also, the Order of Sidon made it clear through Commander Gaius that the reason the hurricane was here was because the king and his queen refused to tear down the Temple of the Five. He was punishing the people of Mytros for not completely subjecting themselves to him, as some would have them do. So no, I do not believe this had anything to do with the heroes. However, I do believe that if not for them, we would still be suffering.
Was there not an ultimatum to end the suffering of Mytros?
According to Commander Gaius, there was. Destroy the Temple of the Five. However,
Was there not another?
there was not.
Sure. I'm thinking of the other one where it's like killing heroes.
However, as many cynics would tell you with soothsayers and other people who read messages in the clouds, These things are not certain, they are open to interpretation, and as such, Commander Gaius has been exerting the will of Sidon upon the populated areas of Dylea for quite some time now. However, again, seeing as how the drought ended in Astoria as soon as their princess was sacrificed in a torrential flood, I have no reason to believe that he did not demand destruction of the Temple of the Five in exchange for ending the hurricane. That's a very Lord of Storms thing to do.
Would you say that the Titans are true to their word? As is evident by the ending of the drought? With the closure of the final terms?
I believe the Titans are bound to an oath just like any other entity in Dylea, and they are true to their word as much as a 5-year-old is true to their word.
Thank you so much for your time, my queen.
Hi, Captain. He turns and walks off. Are there any other witnesses, my heroes? Any more that you would like to call?
I believe we have no further witnesses. I look back and I'm like, we're good?
Yeah, so just so you know,
We still have
Pythor's there, and
Farrant, the satyr.
Furent is there. Now, you don't have to call them, just letting you know that you can if you want to.
I'm good.
Yeah, I think we're covered.
I think we're good.
Fucking hot.
I think at that point, with that guy, I think they would understand that as much as we hoped that they would do it, that was probably the best closing argument we could wrangle. So.
Yeah, let's not bury that one. Let's keep
No,
that one at
we're
the
not
top.
burying Team Valor.
End on a high note.
Yeah.
All right, so that being said, as Lycus and everybody sits, looks at each other, kind of lets time pass. I said Lycus because you were in Tarkon mode, and my eyes went to you. As you each look at each other and determine not to call any more witnesses, Tarkon rises back up. That seems to conclude this phase of the trial. So, after a moment's respite so that we can escort the witnesses back out, and the accused can gather themselves for any last remnants of remarks, then you all shall render judgment. So that's where we're going to take a break. The witnesses have been escorted out by the finest dressed centurions, and a hush has once again fallen over the chamber, as some side conversations popped up here and there amongst the jury, citizens, crowd, as they were escorted out, people talking amongst themselves in fevered whispers. Once it has settled down, Harkon reclaims the attention of the room. Citizens of Mytros, consider all you have heard. We grant the accused one final opportunity to address the jury if they wish to do so in their own defense. And then judgment shall be rendered by you. He turns his body, waves his arm out towards you, inviting anyone to come speak if they wish to do so.
Alright, I'm gonna go first.
Oh no.
I step up and just take a deep breath before I go into this. Everyone here, I hope you've been listening to everything that's been said today. If that last segment didn't tell you that this entire trial has been a farce, you'll be making the wrong decision if you decide to throw any of us charges. As soon as we got to the city, the king had tried to give us these tasks that we had confidence in ourselves that we'd be able to do it. But from his perspective, they probably seemed absolutely impossible. To me, that sounds like he wants us out of the picture basically any way that he can. But now that we're here, taking a bit of glory, he's sitting over there and getting more and more aggravated every time we're proving something he doesn't like.
At this point, you feel a sharp elbow in your ribcage from Tarkon. Careful. He's still the king.
Of course. And while he's our king, well, I've only lived here for a couple of years. I've never really considered this my city. I always liked it other places. And as much as I do want to see this city grow, I don't think it's in anyone's best interest to have him try and take out the people that are supposed to save everyone here. That's all I have to say. And then I step back.
A light rustle goes through the crowd. People whisper back and forth as you walk away back to your seat. Tarkon stands open. If anybody else would wish to.
I'll go forward. I think what Cyanus is trying to say is that Thylea is in a predicament. And as we have seen, we have been the only group to step up and try to address anything. So if you guys find us guilty and feed us to the dragon, who is going to step up and save Thylea? Surely not King Acastus. He needed us to make a simple decision for him. It can't be the 5 gods. They're tired. Their worshippers are dwindling because of the fear that Kira was speaking about. So who is going to save you, if not for us? We're the only ones that have tried. That's all I'm going to say. I don't make her way back. The group.
More murmurs.
I'll step up as well. I am not good at speeches, I think, as we have noticed over the course of this trial. And so many clever words have been said. I'm unsure if I have any true ones to offer, but I wish to say this. I have hope for the future. I hope that we can, as we have shown in our actions, our words, and our deeds, and all that we have promised to accomplish, all that we pray that we will accomplish, that we will be able to move forward and grant the future that Mytros and Thylea deserve and to have. I am still a daughter of this city, and I know that my last words may not be enough to sway your hearts to us, but I hope that you make that whatever decision you make is true to your hearts and true to those hopes for the future. And should the worst come to worst, I hope that it is a decision that you can live with. And I hope that if we do fall, that someone else steps up to the plate fast and will give you the future that you do deserve. All of you. Oh, look, every single person in that room, including Acastus. Thank you.
I'll go up, ladies and gentlemen. I would like just to point out that every time that the heroes have been called upon, they have answered the call. And even though my time with them has been short, I believe that we will continue to do so. Always answer the call.
Micah stands up, looking around. Answering the call. That's a very interesting choice phrase. Many of us are called for various reasons throughout our life to fulfill simple and more complex goals. And those calls can come from anywhere. And I look at King Acastus. They can come in the form of dreams. And it behooves us to answer when we are called. For cowardice is not acceptable. You are king of the Dragon Lords, the New Order, these mere peasants. I am the captain of the Ultras, not you, because you did not listen to your call. And on that note, yeah, I think that's everything.
As Lycus walks back across the stage, you hear and see Acastus shift in his chair, like he's sitting on something sharp. Tarkon steps back forward. The time has come, citizens of Mytros, to fulfill your duty and render judgment. With your permission, my king. Acastus looks up at Tarkon. You see him clench and relax his hands a bit on the arms of the throne. Cocks his head to the side and rises up out of the chair. I would address the court first, Tarkon. Tarkon looks sideways. My king, as presiding official, this is quite irregular. He snaps back. I know my position, Tarkon, as well as I know yours. As you say, my king. Steps back. The caster strides up, an air of confidence. The bronze boots clanking against the marble floor, echoing throughout the chamber, everything a hush around him. With a flourish of his cape, he swings left to right, taking in all the people surrounded by him. People of Mytros, you have heard much today. As Tarkon said at the beginning of this trial, we are not simply determining the fate of these 5 individuals that shared the stage with me at this time. It is the burden of you to render judgment, not just on their lives and their actions, but the fate that they threaten to bring to all of Mytros. If they are not judged harshly today, we may be judged harshly in the future. I have done my best and presided over an era of peace. They cannot say the same. He pauses as though he's trying to collect his words to say something else. But then frustratingly, he shakes his head left to right and exits from the stage. On this cue, Tarkon rises back up. We may render judgment then, my lord. You see Acastus nod from the throne. His eyes seem to be staring off, rather than at anybody in particular. People of Mytros, in response to the charges against these 5 individuals of murder, arson, and treason, stand to be recognized if you find them innocent. What's that, Austin?
Just meta thing. Weren't we supposed to have another persuasion check?
I was about to ask you for persuasion checks.
Okay. So I just jumped the gun on it. Okay, never mind.
By mere seconds, so thank you for the timing. So yes, a persuasion roll from each of you, please. You're on. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 15.
Alright. Ina?
13.
Lycus?
16. Because my advantage roll counts, right?
You're wearing your glasses. Right? Dianus?
10.
Bernatus?
8.
Did I somehow manage to touch hearts with my please just make the right choice, please? If you said something, Julie, I missed it. No, okay.
A moment passes. And from the left side of the chamber, you see an individual stand up, an older man. He rises to his feet. I stand with the heroes of the Heartlands. 20 feet to his left, another one stands up. And I stand with the keepers of the prophecy. One by one, more of them rise up. I stand with the reclaimers of the FableForge, with those who brave the necropolis, with the saviors of Mytros, the captains of the Ultros, the breastplate of Mytros, the axe of Xander, the shield of Vulcan, the crown of the Dragon Lords. And as a wave rises amongst the crowd, the words echoing throughout, crown of Dragon Lords reverberating throughout the chamber back and forth, before all you can hear in synonymous chant, Dragon Lords, Dragon Lords, Dragon Lords, Dragon Lords, louder and louder, reverberating throughout the chamber. Acastus stands up, looking around, wide-eyed. Tarkon looks, his eyebrows furrowed down, not knowing what to make of this scene. The Centurions grip their shields and spears nervously as the crowd starts rising in glorious uproar, proclaiming your innocence, rendering their judgment.
Do you hear the people sing the song of angry men?
This cacophony of noise assault you.
If we're not standing, I'm going to be standing for this.
Renata stands up.
I do too. And Yara looks just so relieved.
Your friends look over in your direction, bringing their voices up in joyous reprieve with the rest of the chamber. And as it slowly dies down, Tarkon and King Acastus walk out. Centurions disperse. And the crowd, slowly at first, and then faster and faster, rushes in towards the stage, reaching out towards you, chanting, rising up. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.